What's up, my Century United? It's the Sentiment here, so back again with another classic WWE pay-per-view review. The year 2000 is considered one of the best years in the company's history, one of the best years of the Attitude Era, due to the financial gain, the popularity, the star power, guys like The Rock, Triple H, Austin, who just came back from neck injury, The Undertaker, Kane, and you got breakout stars like Kurt Angle, Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho, Agent Christian. I haven't reviewed a Attitude Era pay-per-view on this channel for ages, due to the peaks of the Attitude Era, like 99 and 2000. So, right now I'm reviewing Armageddon 2000. The end is near. At the Birmingham Jefferson Civic Center in Birmingham, Alabama, on the 10th of December 2000. The attendance of the show was 14,920. Armageddon 2000 received about 460,000 pay-per-view buys, an upgrade than the 1999 Armageddon show that received about 371,000 pay-per-view buys. JR and the King on commentary for the show. This pay-per-view is memorable for many things. Firstly, this is the one and only pay-per-view they did, whether it's WWF or WWE, in the state of Alabama. This is the final Armageddon pay-per-view under the WWF name, because the following year, in 2001, they didn't do Armageddon because they did the first Vengeance show. The reason why, because of the 9/11 terrorist attack, so they brought it back in 2002. That'll be the first Armageddon under the WWE name. So that's number 2. And number 3, is memorable for the Armageddon 6-man Hell in the Cell match. We'll get to that later on. So the first match to kick off Armageddon 2000, we got a 6-person elimination tag team match. We got Team Extreme, the Hardys, and Lita taking on the Radicals. The Radicals are the light heavyweight champion Dean Malenko, Eddie Guerrero, and Perry Saturn, with Terry in their corner. So Terry used to be the manager of the Hardys going back to 1999. The following year, because the Hardys won the Terry Invitational Tournament, the Terry Invitational Tournament. Wow, against Edge and Christian. That really put both, not just the Hardys, but Edge and Christian on the map. The breakout performance before, the Triangle Ladder match and the TLC matches in 2000 and 2001. Anyway, so this is revolved around Lita and Dean Malenko. Dean probably had some feelings towards Lita. Lita had none of Dean Malenko. So Dean defeated Lita on a match on Raw to win a date with Lita. So yeah, he took Lita out for a dinner, then go into a motel room, about to have sex, and out comes the Hardys, beating down Dean. So anyway, that was why the feuding on this show. I think there's no build to it. It's more between Lita and Dean Malenko. The Hardys, Eddie, Perry San, got nothing to do with it. It's just between Lita and Dean Malenko. Anyway, the match was good. Who got eliminated first? Alright, let's talk about the eliminations. So, the eliminations, the first person got eliminated was Eddie Guerrero. Lita hit, I think hit Eddie. I think it was Eddie with the Twist of Fate. Jeff hit the Swanton Bomb onto Eddie Guerrero to eliminate him first, so Eddie was gone. Then Jeff got eliminated by Perry Saturn. Saturn hit the Death Valley Driver, so he's gone. And then Matt eliminated Perry Saturn with a Twist of Fate. Yeah, Terry got involved because it makes sense for Terry getting involved, because Terry, like I said, Terry used to be the manager. She used to be the manager of the Hardys, but and then she moved on because at the time she was the kayfabe boyfriend of Perry Saturn. So yeah, so and Dean ended up eliminating Matt with a roll up. So the final 2 is revolve around this match in the storyline, Dean Malenko and Lita. It was real. I think the ending was a bit rushed a little bit. Like Lita hit Dean with her moonsault. The reason why I forgot to mention this. The reason why Terry used to manage the Hardys. But this is before Lita ended up going to the WWF. She was on ECW. That's another story of another time. Sorry about that. I forgot to mention it. So anyway, Lita hit Dean with the moonsault. And Malenko really suplexing her, clotheslining her. Every time he, going to pin her, but he kind of pulled her head. In the end, Dean Malenko locked Lita with the Texas Cloverleaf to make her tap out. So Dean Malenko won this match. Shocking! I thought the Hardys will get the victory. Lita got revenge on Dean Malenko, but unfortunately that's not the case. So, and afterwards you got Michael Cole trying to interview Lita while while the Hardys carry her back to the back. So Lita I think you couldn't really hear what Lita's saying. Lita probably said, I had him or something like that. So they had a rematch a few months back, the start of 2001. I think it was too little too late. I wish they did the rematch, the following Raw, to end this. So because when they did the rematch around February time or January time of 2001, the Hardys moved on to, in the tag team title picture, winning the tag team titles, it's just kind of it's just what it is. It was a decent opener. Feel like a TV wrestling match. Doesn't feel like a pay-per-view worthy match, but it's not bad, but I feel like you probably see on Raw or SmackDown, but besides that, it was a fun match to kick off the pay-per-view. Afterwards, the show went downhill. So the next match, this is the first of 5 championship matches on the show, and this is for the WWF European Championship. William Regal defending the belt against Hardcore Holly. So at Rebellion the previous week, Crash Holly, Bob Holly's kayfabe cousin, defeat Regal for the European title in his own country. So that was a brief in the moment for the Hollies. I think this was Crash's second championship he won because he used to be the Hardcore champion. So anyway, and Regal went on to win back the European title. So Regal cut a promo on the state of Alabama, saying they need to wipe their faces with a handkerchief. They need to clean their overalls, and they have sex with farm animals. So it was good. It was better get some heat for Regal because Regal's from England, from Blackpool. Anyway, so you got Hardcore Holly, the hometown boy, because he's actually from Alabama. The match sucked. This is when I say this is feel like some matches belong on. This is a TV wrestling match. This is a TV wrestling match. By the way, the 4 at Survivor Series the previous month. Hardcore Holly and William Regal. Try to keep it short and simple. It was fine, but it was just mediocre. I kind of popped for Hardcore Holly. Did a move. I think he did a leg drop or an Izzy-Gary kick. What was it? Heel kick off the top rope onto Regal. That was fun. But besides that, it was nothing like ooh and wow. In the end, you had Raven came out of nowhere, hit the Raven's effect. It's basically DDT. What's it called? The Even Flow. That's his finisher in WCW and ECW. I don't understand why they changed Raven's his finisher. Great example, this is way back in 2017, 2018. They changed the Shield's finisher. They call the Shield's finisher the Shield Bomb. It's the triple power bomb. I like the triple power bomb better than the Shield Bomb. This is similar to Raven effect. I prefer to call it the Even Flow than the Raven's effect. So anyway, Regal pinned Hardcore Holly after the attack on Raven attack Hardcore Holly. So Regal won this match, retained the European title, and that was it. So yeah, it was just blah. It's just blah. It wasn't the good workers, but it was just mediocre. It didn't have first off, it didn't have enough time. Maybe it has to do with the Regal kind of promo, and second off, Raven came out of nowhere, hits Hardcore Holly with the Raven's effect, the DDT. I don't know if they did a feud. There's no follow-up to this, so it's just kind of a weak match with a weak ending. So the next match, we've got China taking on Foul Venus, represent Right to Center, with Ivory, the women's champion at the time, in the corner of Foul Venus. Let's talk about RTC. So Right to Center was formed of July of that year because the company got backlash by the PTC because of the sexual content and the violence of the Attitude Era. So it's basically poking fun of the PTC. You got Stevie Richards, the leader, Ivory, Bull Buchanan, formerly known as Recon, part of the Truth Commission, and Big Boss Man's lackey, the Goodfather, formerly known as the Godfather, used to did the pink gimmick, and Foul Venus. Don't really introduce the cats, into that group, but I don't want to talk about it. I think I talked about it in my review of No Way Out 2001. Anyway, and you got Foul Venus because he was used to do the porn star gimmick. So I think that group was very underrated. It wasn't a bad faction. It was a good stable. I don't know if they will do it. Ivory came back at the 2022 Royal Rumble with that gimmick, but I don't think that group will get over in the PG era because when the company went PG in 2008 and right now, I don't know if they will get. I don't know if they can still do it. I don't know, but I think it was taking shots of the PTC. I think they did a good job. I don't think it was bad, but I think it's underrated in my opinion. So anyway, so the build up to this, they attacked China because she's on a cover of Playboy. So Foul Venus clothesline China over a announce table, and that's it. And by the way, this match is another TV match, because these TV matches, the lack of a build, basically adds to the last minute. So it's just what it is. Match sucked. China, I don't think China is a bad worker. She's good. She's not like a ring general, but I think with Foul Venus, there's no chemistry. It's more between China and Ivory, because Ivory got involved, I think twice in this match, and tried to keep it short and simple. So in the end, Foul Venus hit China with the Fisherman Suplex for the win. I think afterwards, China was going after Ivory, but I think it was Foul Venus attacked China, hit her with a powerbomb. This is leading up to this rivalry between China and Ivory. China's pursuit of the Women's Championship. That lead up to Royal Rumble and WrestleMania 17, because I think it's the next night or the other Raws. I think lead up to the Christmas period. That RTC injured China's neck in kayfabe. They power drive her, injure her neck. So leading up to China's matches with Ivory at the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania 17. So that's another story for another time. But it's just filling up the storyline between China and Ivory and RTC. So it's just what it is. So moving on to the next match. So the next match, this is a breath of fresh air, because you had a fun opener, two crap matches, Regal and Hawkle Holly. That was just mediocre. It was shit. Raven came out of nowhere, and China and Foul Venus, same. We got a last man standing match. We got Kane taking on Chris Jericho. They fought at last month's Survivor Series. Kane won. This is over coffee. Yeah, Jericho really spilling coffee onto Kane in the chest of Kane. So they're beating the crap out of each other for weeks now, lead to the match of Survivor Series. They fought at Rebellion the previous week. Jericho gonna release his vicious side, and Kane just don't like evil people. So, not the greatest last man standing match. I think better ones probably afterwards, I think, and probably before this. But anyway, it was a fun match for what it is. Some portion of the match was a bit boring to me, but I think they told a good story. I think it kind of worked. They were fighting in the crowd, and also during that build, you had Kane throwing Jericho through a window. Anyway, they're fighting near a sawdust truck. Kane trying to hit Jericho, or Jericho hit Kane with the shovel. Anyway, so I think Kane, yeah, Jericho was kind of like this. This is sim. Let's break it. This is This is pre. See No Evil, like Kane's this horror slow paced monster. He's Jacob Goodnight, and Jericho is this mortal human. Like he talked like I think it was a choke slam by Kane, but he get up at the count of nine. Jericho, I think he placed a chair. I think he placed a chair onto Kane's like chest area, trying to hit Kane with the lion salt, but no luck. So I'm trying to keep it short and simple. It was a fun match. Jericho, I think he bulldogged Kane through a table and buried Kane with I think it was buried him with barrels. And some of the barrels are not like stick together. It was some kind of prop. So anyway, Jericho got the victory and the end of the rivalry. I don't think they fought ever again. Maybe they had one or two matches of Raw, SmackDown in the next couple of years, but not on the same intensity. But it's for the best. I think it was just like it went on to it only lasted a month. It's not like it's 6 months. I'm glad it started in. I think it started in. I think it was like October. Like I think it was October-ish and ends in December. It wasn't that long, but I think the last man standing match. I think it's way better than their match at Survivor Series. I didn't see their match at Rebellion. I might review Rebellion in the future. So it's just what is. I think this has got to be, in my opinion, the second best match of the night. And let's talk about the next match. So that's match number 5. This is the second of 5 championship matches on the show. And in my opinion, this is match of the night. So this is a 4-way tag team match for the tag team titles. We've got RTC. 2 members represent RTC, right to center. We got Bull Buchanan and the Goodfather, the former Godfather, my apologies, with Stevie Richards, the leader of RTC, in the corner, defending the WWF Tag Team Championship against Edge and Christian, the Dudleys, and Road Dogg and K Quick, the future R-Truth. So this is RTC's one and only tag team title reign. They won it on I think it was Raw. I think it was the 6th of November's episode of Monday Night Raw of that year. So this is the one and only time that RTC won tag team gold. This is match of the night. I think they told a great story. It was action packed. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy it. I think there's a good chemistry. Edge and Christian and Dudley had a really good 2000s, by the way, because they had that epic triangle ladders match at WrestleMania 16, and also the first TLC match at SummerSlam. So, Road Dogg and K-Quick was formed together because at this moment in time, New Age Outlaws DX was swept aside for now. Yeah, they brought back DX in 2006, but that was just Triple H and Shawn Michaels. But it was giving Road Dogg something to do. Billy Gunn was on the show. We'll get to his match next. But K-Quick was Ron Killings, future NWA World Champion. R-Truth, by the way. Anyway, so you had one other match. I think the Truth was going for like a move off the top rope, but it was Goodfather kind of like captured K-Quick, and hit the future R-Truth with a shoulder breaker. Road Dogg with some kind of move off the ring apron. It was boom, boom, bam, fast-paced stuff. The Dudleys were getting over, and forgot to mention this, on the Go Home SmackDown, they were dressing up like they thought they were going to end up joining like the Censor. They're wearing like the white shirts and the black ties. Thought they're inducted into RTC. Bubba with this one line, he said like it's wrong for putting it was wrong for putting people through tables. I don't want to be right. So it was a swerve. So it's just what it is. So the Dudleys were over in Alabama. Then they were shouting, like the fans shouted, like Devon get the table. Unfortunately, no one went through the table. I think they put one of the members of Right to Center through a table. I think it was Stevie Richards, by the way. Anyway, so he got involved. He hit Road Dogg with the Stevie kick. I think this was no DQ. You know, it was allowed. And also, when Devon trying to get the table, but instead Stevie hit Devon with a DDT onto the table. So they also hit the once up on not just on members of RTC, but they did on Edge and Christian. I think they did it on Christian or Edge. In the end, Christian hit Dion Prettier, the future kill switch for the win. Edge and Christian won the tag team titles, and very shocked. You know, this is like confused why they did it. They kind of hot potato the tag team titles. You know, it's getting really maybe the RTC thing was kind of like a one-off thing, but putting on a putting the belts on a good over tag team like Edge and Christian, because like I said, they had a great 2000. You know, with like the Triangle Ladder match at WrestleMania 16 and TLC 1. But yeah, I think they were the most over tag team of that year. I think it was the right call. RTC, right to censor, will never challenge or get one sniff at the tag team titles ever again because the group was disbanded in 2001. You know, I think it was at this moment in time, it's kind of run its course, but you know, I understand why people don't like this group, but you know, if you kind of grew up at that time, but for me, I think it was kind of underrated. It was kind of poking fun of the PTC. So anyway, yeah, Edge and Christian won the tag team titles on the show. Then they end up. This is like, yeah, the tag team titles kind of hot potato around 2000 and going into 2001. They end up dropping the tag team titles to The Undertaker and The Rock. Then they went on to win the tag team titles back a day later. And then they end up dropping the titles back to the Dudleys at the Royal Rumble the following month. So, moving on to the third of 5 championship matches on the show. This is for the Intercontinental Championship. So we got the one Billy Gunn, not Mr. Ass, defending the Intercontinental Championship against. By the way, this is the one and only title reign of Billy Gunn as the IC champion, defending the belt against Chris Benoit. So Billy Gunn won the IC title against Eddie Guerrero on the Thanksgiving episode of SmackDown. So I think it was too little too late. I'll get to that shortly. Benoit. I'll also get to Benoit shortly. He had a good 2000, not just in WCW, but in the WWF as well. So he's trying to establish himself as the best technical wrestler in the company. So the match sucked. No one. I don't think there's any chemistry between Billy Gunn and Benoit. You know, this is like rare worst Chris Benoit matches. They've been very rare worst matches. He had good matches, but sometimes Benoit can have some bad matches. So the bulk of the match, you had Benoit working on the injured leg of Billy Gunn. By the way, this is one of Billy Gunn's first matches back because he suffered a shoulder injury a few months back. You know, he came back. You know, his first match back was at Survivor Series the previous month. Anyway, so he was working on the leg of Billy Gunn after throwing him into the stall steps. He locked Billy Gunn with the figure 4 leg lock. The fans did the woo because going back to, you know, it's a reference WCW and also referencing Ric Flair and also referencing the Horsemen because if you don't know, Chris Benoit used to be part of the 4 Horsemen. Yeah, it was a weak match. So Billy Gunn hit like the famous, but Benoit kicked out. I think he got away from the diving headbutt. In the end, Benoit won won the IC title. My apologies. Locked in the triple crossface onto Billy Gunn. He did it for the first time, but Gunn reached his foot on the rope, so he did it for the second time. Made Billy Gunn tap out. So Benoit won the IC title for the third time in his career. I think it's the third. I don't know. He won another one. Not too sure. So it was just a weak. First off, it was a weak ending. So what's the point having having Benoit working on the injured leg of Billy Gunn? If you're tapping someone out with a submission hold, it's not really going for the leg. It's going because the crossface is going for the neck and shoulder area. So why could have Benoit going for the injured shoulder, the injured repair shoulder of Billy Gunn? You know, I don't get it. It was just crappy booking. And also, Billy Gunn's title reign was flat, so he won the title on the Thanksgiving episode of SmackDown, and then a month later, or a few weeks later, on the show at Armageddon, yeah, he's dropping the title to Benoit. I think it's the reason why they give Billy Gunn the IC title, because in '99 they were planning to have Billy Gunn, you know, going for the IC title and Road Dogg the Hardcore title, but they did a switcheroo. It really did Billy Gunn in, and then his push kind of went downhill, like winning the King of the Ring. His push was demolished by The Rock with that God promo, and he got hurt, won the IC title, and yeah, it was just like, every time they're trying to push Billy Gunn, it's falling flat, so, and, you know, it's just, yeah, I don't want to get in more about Benoit, that's my 2 cents on it, so, not Billy Gunn. I meant to say Benoit, but I mean Billy Gunn. That was not my 2 cents on Billy Gunn. You know, good worker, but I think they fucked up his push, you know, in '99 and 2000. So for Benoit, he had a good 2000, not just in WWF but in WCW. Like he kind of wrapped up his best year in wrestling. So in 2000, he won the WCW World Title against Sid at the final Sold Out pay-per-view. That was his last match in the company before him, Eddie Guerrero, and Perry Saturn, and Dean Malenko. And I forgot to mention in the opener, it's a shame how, like, you know, Dean Malenko never got a fair crack in the company. Like, you see guys like Benoit and Eddie Guerrero that went on to be world champions and main event players in the Ruthless Aggression era later on in the decade. And Malenko, I think he got released, then he ended up becoming a producer with the company until he was released from the company in 2019 to go to AEW. I think it has to do with his age, because when Malenko went to the company, signed with the company, he was just turned 40. He was in his late 30s, pushing 40, and you got guys like Benoit, Guerrero, and Saturn. Saturn didn't really got like some kind of push, but they were in their early 30s, man. If Malenko was in his like the same age as Eddie and Benoit, what might have been? You know, I think he'd probably get a good push. You know, he's on that same level as Guerrero and Benoit. You know, he's a good worker, former WCW Cruiserweight champion. So that's my 2 cents there. 2 cents on it. So yeah, it wrapped up Benoit's like best year in his career. You know, in the year 2000, like winning the WCW World Championship at Sold Out, then going to the WWF. You know, he went on to beat win the IC title 3 times of that year, plus that match against him, Jericho, Angle, WrestleMania 16 for the Euro Continental Championship. He was briefly in the WWF title pitch against The Rock. You know, he had a great 2000, including his match with Chris Jericho at SummerSlam. And by the way, he ended up losing the Intercontinental Championship against Chris Jericho in an epic ladder match at the Royal Rumble the following month. So moving on to the ladder. I don't know why I got ladder in my mind. So anyway, so the next match, this is for the Women's Championship. This is a triple threat women's match for the women's title. This is the fourth of 5 championship matches on the show. We got Ivory represent RTC, defending her title against Molly Holly and Trish Stratus. This is short and simple, and it's, if you blink, you missed it. So I'm trying to keep it short and simple. So Molly Holly hit Trish with a powerbomb. Then Ivory throws Molly out of the ring, and then and Ivory pins Trish to win this match, and she retained the women's title. And then afterwards, you got Crash Holly came to the rescue. You got like Albert and Tess. You know, they're wearing TNAPA? It's called because they beat down the APA. You got the return of the APA on the show to get revenge on Tess and Albert and Trish, because I don't know if they had a match on. It's a shame they never had a match on pay-per-view. I think they had probably a match on Raw, like a brawl. Like, it would be a fun match, like a barroom brawl between Tess and Albert versus APA, Bradshaw and Farouk, but I don't know. But the women's match was just short. It was a piss break match. I wish they got more minutes because for once, Ivory and Molly Holly can carry Trish because that was more fine. Trish was not really the in-ring athlete she'll become in later years in the second half of the decade. But in the first half of the decade, when she came, she debuted in the company of that year. She was a manager, managing TNA, and then, and then when she was starting out as a wrestler, she was kind of green, not kind of get it yet, but around, you can tell by in 2002, you can tell she kind of get it, and then she went on to become one of the best in-ring athletes in the history of women's wrestling. I can describe it. So, and no China, it'd be more easier to have China coming out, get revenge on Ivory, like I said, up their women's title match next month at the Royal Rumble. So that's my 2 cents on it. So moving on to the main event. The main event, it's memorable for the show. We got the one and only 6-man Armageddon Hell in the Cell match for the WWF Championship. Kurt Angle defending the belt against The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H, The Undertaker, and Rikishi. I'm guessing this is Rikishi's one and only WWF Championship match in his career. For weeks, actually not for weeks, but on this show, they showcase how brutal and destructive how Hell in a Cell could be. It's so destructive and brutal and devastation how the cell could be. Like, in a great example in Undertaker's segment from earlier on the show, he's talking about his first 2 appearances inside Hell in a Cell. His first 2 Hell in a Cell matches against Shawn Michaels at Bad Blood. That's in 1997, the first Hell in a Cell match. And his second appearance inside Hell in a Cell against Mankind at King of the Ring. Plus, they forgot Undertaker's third appearance inside Hell in a Cell. That's against the Big Boss Man. That was at WrestleMania 15 the previous year in 1999. I don't want to talk about it. I'll talk about it briefly. You had the Brood and the Undertaker hang the Big Boss Man. I don't want to get into that. I might review WrestleMania 15 in the future. So, and also early on the show, the show a clip from earlier of that year. It was at No Way Out 2000. It was the Hell in a Cell match between Triple H and Cactus Jack. If Cactus Jack lose, he would retire. So when Mick Foley took that bump, through the Cell War, yeah, they did a great job showcasing how it's brutal, devastation, destructive, how Hell in a Cell could be. That's the reason why fans like this match. It's not just one of the best matches in not just the company's history, but in professional wrestling history. So, anyway, Vince, for weeks, not just for weeks, but on the show, doesn't want to, really wants to cancel this match because if any competitors in this match get hurt or die inside Hell in a Cell, it'll hurt Vince financially. And and also on the Go Home SmackDown, he divorced his wife Linda in kayfabe and led up to Vince having this affair with Trish Stratus, and also Linda in a coma. She's catatonic. That's another story for another time. So he got a promo, says like, if your favorite superstar is in the mild of the afterburn, the blow will not be in Mick Foley's hands, because at the time Mick Foley was the commissioner of the WWF, but he'd be in every fan's hands. So it was a good promo for Vince. Feel like a promo you'd probably see on Raw and SmackDown, but anyway, so yeah, it's a night of good promos. Like Angle, promo says, I won gold medals against Bulgarians, Czechoslovakians, Turks. I'm not sweating with an eyebrow, a nose, a badass, a fat ass, and a rennet. And he called the fans in Alabama stupid hicks. And after this match, he's going to take a shower and drink some 99% low-fat milk. And also, the week building up to the Hell in a Cell match on the show is The Rock. And also, they had some rivalry going into it. Rock, Angle and Taker had that WWE title match at Survivor Series that led up to Angle retaining the title via the Twin Magic spot when you had Kurt Angle's brother Eric Angle, the person named Kurt Angle. So you had Austin feuding with Triple H because he mastermind running down Stone Cold Steve Austin the previous year in 1999. And also Rikishi and Brock had their rivalry, so it got rivalry going into Hell in a Cell. And also speaking of The Rock, on that Raw a few weeks back, he cut that good promo. He was taking the piss out of his competitors inside Hell in a Cell. Plus, he does some reference. He referenced Rage in the Cage. That's Hogan and Piper's cage match at Halloween Havoc '97. Monkey and Hyenas. So he kind of took the piss out of the competitors inside Hell in a Cell with Kurt Angle. he said that he's going to drink some glass of milk, eat some chocolate chip cookies. He's gonna have some Viagra with Rikishi. I'm gonna do the voice. I did it for The Rock. I did it for the people. And yeah, Rock called him a thong wearing fatty. Undertaker, he says rest in peace. Triple H is like, it means you gotta beat the gamer. I got $2 for Wi-Fi. It really takes the piss out of Triple H's voice. Yeah, some people take the piss out of Triple H's voice when he go like in the middle of his sentence. Anyway, and also took the piss out of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Says wearing his camouflage hat. He said like he's gonna drink some beer. Was it Steve Weiser's? Listen to some Backstreet Boys. You know, Rock is fucking entertaining. One of the most entertaining wrestlers in professional wrestling history. He's just like he's got that swagger, personality, and charisma. So anyway, let's talk about Hell in a Cell. So this match was okay, but the executional, how this devastation and the brutality of Hell in a Cell could be, it flopped. It was a clusterfuck. They will end up, they're just basically brawling inside the cell, all 6 competitors. Anyway, it's just like, it was like, what the, I give them credit because they're trying to test the waters. You know, if it's swink or swim, is it going to be a success, financial success or financial failure? But I call it more, it's a financial failure to me. It's just, they can't do nothing inside the cell, it's too much people. I think it's better off, like, doing a one-on-one match, you know. They did, like, the tag team Hell in a Cell match, I think it was on Raws, and also, you know, Unforgiven 2006, plus they did the triple threat match in 2011, John Cena, CM Punk, Alberto Del Rio. That was way better than this. It was just brawling, and then, you know, Vince and the Stooges came out. I think it was, they're on a sawdust truck trying to take down the cell. Mick Foley, the commissioner, stopped the Stooges and Vince, so Vince got like carried out by the security. And also the fighting, like on the pay-per-view sets, there was like damaged cars because I think it's matched the theme of Armageddon because like it's apocalypse, you know, damaged cars, you know, they were like, you know, I feel like they come from a junkyard. I think like Triple H threw Austin head first into a mirror or onto the mirror, and Triple H hit The Rock with the pedigree on top of the white car. I think when he threw Austin head first into that black car, or I think it was more like a Jeep or something. I'm not really too sure. Everyone bled. Actually, most of the competitors bled. Austin bled, Rock bled, Triple H bled, Angle bled. You know, it had color. You know, typical Hell in a Cell standards. You know, the last time a Hell in a Cell match had color was Taker Brock Hell in a Cell match from Hell in a Cell 2015. Anyway, so you know, the most memorable spot on this match. You had Undertaker chokeslam Rikishi off the cell and onto the sawdust truck. So that was the memorable spot on this match. Besides that, this was shit. It was okay. You had the brawling, but besides that, it wasn't boring. It was just like, that's it. Just brawling, that's it. You know, but anyway, so I think Angle pinned The Rock and retained his WWF Championship. And afterwards, Austin hit Angle with the Stone Cold Stunner to get the fans going happy. So that was it. So everyone went their separate ways after that. So Austin went on to win Yeah, yeah, and also like during this match, you had Austin brawling set up there. WrestleMania rematch from WrestleMania 15 rematch from until the fight WrestleMania 17, the WrestleMania rematch between Rock and Austin. Um, it's good to see, but Rock wins the WWF title from Kurt Angle in February of 2001. Austin wins the Royal Rumble match in January. So set up the WrestleMania 15 rematch on that show in Texas the following year. So Rikishi never got one sniff of the world title ever again. I think the reason why they're doing this because being the mastermind, running down Austin because they're trying to give him a push, trying to get away from the mid card scene. Unfortunately, I think it's testing the waters with Rikishi, but unfortunately, it backfired on him because for one thing, he was never ready. I don't think he was I don't think he was main event material to be honest. So. Anyway, Undertaker was not doing anything. He was not in the WWE. He'd be in the WWE title picture in the spring during the whole feud between Brothers of Destruction versus the two-man power trip. So, anyway, let's go back to Vince and Mick Foley because Vince blamed Mick Foley because it could be his blood will be in his hands, his blood will be in his conscience. So, I think it's the next night or other future Raw. So. This is leading up to Vince firing Mick Foley as the commissioner. And I think the rumors, there were plans to do I think it was the Foley-Vince match at WrestleMania. Unfortunately, they changed directions. They go with Vince and Shane, with Mick Foley as the special guest referee. So, anyway, my final reign for WWF Armageddon 2000, I think I'm going to get 4 out of 10. The 3 matches, they are good, but it doesn't make me go, wow, I need to go watch it doesn't make me go, wow, I need to watch Armageddon 2000 again. It's just, they are good matches. Like, the opener was good, the 6-person elimination tag team match, the 4-way tag team match for the tag team titles was also fun, plus Kane and Jericho Last Man Standing match was also fun. Not an all-time classic Last Man Standing match, but it was fun to watch. But besides that, this was shit. Like, the Hell in a Cell match, to be honest, I was putting in the okay with the brawling, plus Rikishi getting chokeslammed off the Hell in a Cell. But besides that, I put it in the bad. Not a good Hell in a Cell match. There have been better ones before and afterwards. Not on the same level as Fiend Seth Rollins from Hell in a Cell 2019. But besides that, yeah, this is a show I rather skip, man. Like, some of the matches are filler. Matches belong on Monday Night Raw. Like, great example, Regal Hulk Holly, Fall Venus China, Billy Gunn, Benoit for the Intercontinental Championship. So, 5 championships on this show. Actually, four of them. And it ends up with some disappointing matches. So, heels retain their titles. And plus, Edge and Christian won the tag team titles. It's the only title change on the show. So, yeah, this is a bad show. I rather skip. So, anyway, hope you enjoyed my review of WWF Armageddon 2000. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Smash the like button, click the bell. Subscribe to the channel for more wrestling videos and more. Next time, let's review the first Armageddon under the WWE name. It's in the year 2002. It ends with 3 words. 3 stages of hell. You know what I'm talking about, Armageddon 2002. So, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.